Hey everyone, and welcome back to English with Speak Smart. I'm Jane, and I'm super excited to be here with my co-host Lucy today.
And I'm Lucy. So glad to be here, Jane. Today, we're tackling a topic that, honestly, I think resonates with so many of our listeners. How to train your brain and mouth to actually speak in English, especially when you feel like you understand everything perfectly.
Oh, absolutely. It's that classic scenario, isn't it? You can read complex articles, watch movies without subtitles, understand podcasts like ours, but when it comes to forming a sentence spontaneously, your brain just freezes. It's like, nope, not today.
Exactly. It's like your brain has all the data, but the output function just isn't working. And it's not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's a whole different skill set, isn't it? From thinking in English to actually making your mouth form those sounds.
Yeah, it totally is. And I think a huge part of it for many people starts with the brain. We often get stuck in this loop of translating everything from our native language into English before we speak. It's a natural habit, but it's a massive roadblock to fluency.
Oh, the translation trap. I've been there. You hear a question, you translate it into your language, formulate an answer, translate that back into English, and by then, the conversation's moved on, or you just sound incredibly hesitant.
Totally. The key then is to start forcing your brain to think directly in English. And it sounds daunting, but it really isn't. One of the simplest ways, which I always recommend, is to start an internal monologue in English.
Oh, I love that one. Talk to yourself. I mean, who isn't already doing that? Just swap the language. Instead of thinking, what should I make for dinner tonight? In your native tongue, try, okay, what should I cook for dinner? Pasta? Or maybe a salad?
Exactly. Narrate your day. When you're walking, describe what you see. The sky is blue. There are many cars. That dog is so cute. It forces your brain to retrieve words and construct sentences without that intermediate translation step. It builds those neural pathways.
And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's just for you. No one's judging your internal grammar. That takes a lot of pressure off. Another great brain training tip I found really effective is immersing yourself in English content as much as possible, but actively.
Active immersion is key. It's not just passively listening to a podcast while you're doing other things, although that helps with exposure. It's about really engaging. If you're watching a show, try to anticipate what characters will say, or pause and try to repeat a line exactly as they said it. Shadowing, basically.
Shadowing is brilliant for both brain and mouth, actually. For the brain, it's about processing the rhythm and intonation. For the mouth, it's practicing those muscle movements. And speaking of the mouth, that's where a whole different set of challenges comes in, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. The physical aspect of speaking English can be surprisingly tough. English has sounds that don't exist in many other languages, or sounds that are pronounced very differently. Think about the p sound, or the difference between v and v, or even just vowel sounds.
Right. It's like your mouth has been trained for one kind of gymnastics, and suddenly you're asking it to do a completely different routine. And it can feel awkward, even silly at first, but practice really does make perfect here, or at least much, much better.
Exactly. So for the mouth, one of the best things you can do is really focus on pronunciation. Don't just hear the word, try to replicate it. Listen to native speakers, then record yourself saying the same word or sentence. Compare them. It's a bit cringeworthy at first, but it's incredibly effective.
It is cringeworthy, but it's also super insightful. You pick up on things you'd never notice otherwise, like where your tongue is placed or how much air you're using. And that's where things like tongue twisters can actually be really useful. They're not just for kids.
Oh, absolutely. Tongue twisters like she sells seashells by the seashore or Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers might seem silly, but they're fantastic for exercising those specific muscles in your mouth and tongue that are crucial for clear English pronunciation. It's like going to the gym for your mouth.
Totally, and it builds muscle memory. The more you practice those specific movements, the more natural they become. Another powerful tool, I think, is reading aloud, not just in your head, but really articulating the words.
Reading aloud is brilliant because it connects what you see on the page with the physical act of speaking. You're processing the grammar, the vocabulary, and the structure, all while actively producing the sounds. It helps bridge that gap between understanding and speaking.
And it can be anything. A novel, an article, even the ingredients list on a cereal box. The point is to just get those words out. Don't worry about speed, focus on clarity first. Speed will come later.
That's a really good point, Lucy. It's about consistency, not intensity, especially when you're starting out. 5 minutes of active practice every day is far more effective than an hour once a week. It keeps those brain and mouth muscles engaged constantly.
Absolutely, and something else I always tell people is to find opportunities to speak with other humans, even if it's just 5 minutes with a patient friend or an online language exchange partner. That's where the real magic happens because it's dynamic.
That interaction is invaluable. It forces you to react in real time, to improvise, and to deal with the unpredictability of a real conversation. That's where the brain really kicks into gear and stops trying to translate.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Honestly, I think the fear of sounding stupid or making a grammar error is one of the biggest blockers for people, but mistakes are how you learn. Every mistake is a stepping stone.
Totally. Think of a baby learning to walk. They fall countless times, but they don't stop trying because they're afraid of falling again. They just keep getting up. It's the same with language. Embrace the stumbles. They're part of the process.
That's such a great analogy. And also, for those who are struggling to find speaking partners, there are so many online platforms now, even apps specifically designed for language exchange. You can literally find someone to chat with almost instantly, sometimes for free.
Definitely. Or even just joining online communities where English is the primary language. Participate in forums, comment on videos, write short posts. It all counts towards actively engaging your brain in English production. It's not just about speaking, it's about output in general.
That's a good point. Even writing actively helps. It organizes your thoughts in English, which then makes it easier when you have to speak. It's all interconnected, isn't it?
Completely. And for those who feel like their vocabulary isn't rich enough, don't get too hung up on always finding the perfect word. Focus on getting your message across first. Fluency often means being able to communicate effectively, even if it's with simpler words initially.
Right, focus on getting the thought out. Sometimes when you're speaking, you might not remember a specific word, but you can describe it or use a synonym. That's actually a sign of adapting and being fluent, not a sign of weakness.
Exactly. It shows resourcefulness. And that's something native speakers do all the time too. We don't always recall the exact phrase, so we rephrase or simplify. It's a natural part of communication. Nobody's perfect.
So true. Another thing I've found really helpful for both brain and mouth is storytelling. Try to tell a short story about your day or a past experience or even describe a movie you watched, all in English. It forces you to structure thoughts and use connecting words.
Oh, storytelling is fantastic. It pushes you beyond single sentences. You have to think about sequence, cause and effect, and descriptive language. And again, you can record yourself telling these stories and listen back. It helps you identify those tricky spots where you get stuck.
And don't be disheartened if you feel like you're not progressing fast enough. Learning a language, especially developing speaking fluency, is a marathon, not a sprint. Celebrate small victories. Successfully ordering coffee in English, making a new friend, understanding a joke.
Absolutely. Every little interaction counts. And honestly, the biggest hurdle for most people isn't a lack of knowledge, but a lack of confidence. The more you put yourself out there, even imperfectly, the more your confidence grows and the easier it becomes.
It's all about building that speaking habit. Make it part of your daily routine, even if it's just talking to your reflection in the mirror for 2 minutes or narrating your cooking process in English. Every little bit accumulates.
Yeah, and remember that it's okay to start small. Don't expect to be giving TED Talks in English overnight. Start with simple conversations, then gradually build up to more complex topics. Set achievable goals for yourself.
Like, this week I'm going to introduce myself to someone new in English, or I'm going to order food in English without hesitation. Small, specific goals are so motivating.
Exactly. And don't forget the power of listening actively. The more you listen to authentic English, the more your brain picks up on natural phrasing, common collocations, and idiomatic expressions. This passive input eventually becomes active output.
It's like filling up your language bank so you have more to draw from when you need to speak. And listen to different accents too. Don't just stick to one because the real world is full of variety.
That's a fantastic point. Exposure to different accents prepares your brain and ears for real-life conversations. So, to wrap up, if you want to train your brain, start that internal monologue, immerse yourself actively, and don't translate.
And for your mouth, focus on pronunciation, practice shadowing, read aloud, use tongue twisters, and most importantly, speak whenever and wherever you can. And embrace those beautiful mistakes.
Yeah, embrace the journey, celebrate the small wins, and keep at it. You've got this. Thanks so much for tuning in to English with Speak Smart. It's been a pleasure talking all things English speaking with you today, Lucy.
Always a pleasure, Jane. And to all our listeners, we hope these tips help you feel more confident and capable in your English speaking journey. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll catch you next time.